Let us be seated for the evening meditation. We start off by making sure that our seat is comfortable and that the back is arranged so that the hips are brought forward and the chest, the neck, and the head are arranged in a completely straight line. We start off with our eyes open. We find a focal point. It may be a picture in front of you. It may be the screen in front of you. Try to absorb the contents of what you see. Well, on your screens, you will see decorated pictures, all indicating the presence of life. Life provided by the divine, life sustained by the divine, and also life that will be withdrawn by the divine. But the divine is always present. So let us feel the tangible presence of this infinite invisible, this divine presence. Everything that we feel is surely a manifestation of the flow of divine grace. Let us pause before we continue to feel this living presence within us, not only within us, but also around us, in every part of space that we can imagine. But of course, the body is surrounded by space. The body is surrounded by air that fills the space. And of course, every minute part within the body is surrounded by an environment. Let us register all these environments to the divine presence. This whole divine presence we feel centered within us also. We can maybe feel it as the presence of the beating heart or the slow movements of the lungs, inflation and deflation of the chest. We can feel it as the seat on which we are seated. When we feel the divine presence, we feel the warmth of love that flows toward us and through us. Let us feel that the whole universe is filled with this divine energy of love that gives it birth, gives it life, and also that changes forms one thing to another, like a river always flowing. In this feeling of oneness, let us put a proposal, a blessing, an intention that may every single being be joyful. May every single being find its own freedom, and may every single part and particle of this universe that presents itself as solid matter, that presents itself as a range beyond all our experience, and the intermediary space between. Let us fill all of this with a sense of peace, inherent joy, and bliss. So may all beings find that peace within, that level of bliss that is intrinsic to the fundamental nature that is all. Let us have this blessing attitude to all things around us. Let us have this blessing attitude to all things beyond us. Let's have this blessing attitude to all things between us. Let us fill all the space with the fundamental sound of potential creativity that comes to our ear as Om. Let us repeat this a number of times. And then after, let us continue mentally repeating this primordial sound symbol. Let us feel the power of this vibration within us. Let us feel how it energizes and manifests as every single part and particle of the body, as the current of thought that always flows through us in several ways, as the unconscious and subconscious instinctive mind, as well as the small area of consciousness that we are aware of. Let us mentally fill up with the divine presence. Let us turn our attention to that vast area of potentiality that fills space, the vast area of potential matter. Let us think of it as a flowing river. In this river, we find no distinction anywhere, no distinction between any form or shape. Let us think of it as a river flowing of light, sometimes being held up in a whirlpool in one place, sometimes flowing on to the other, but all one substance. Salutations to that great potential matter activated by universal energy. Salutations to all sounds that come from this energy. Salutations to all receptive ears that catch it. For this is divine energy. This is divine matter. It comes out as gravitational energy, electrical energy, any kind of energy you can think of. It has no form, no shape, and yet it flows and combines. And in this combination, we can see how all pressures are created, how all gases are created, how all pressures and skins to catch, all of this becomes manifest in its subtle form. Salutations to that great divinity that flows as kinetic energy, as motion in all directions, filling up time and space. And as this flow continues its combinations and recombinations, just make our salutations to that great, great form of radiation. We see fire everywhere in the sun, in lightning, in the fire, in the warmth in the human body. Salutations to that subtle force that produces all colors and shapes and forms, and produces all eyes that see it. Salutations to all senses of individualities as they emerge from the subtle manifestations that are divine grace. Let this divine grace flow more. Let it combine and recombine its configurations. Let it manifest as a flow of energy found everywhere, having direction. Let it manifest as all tastes and all mouths that register it. Salutations to that great divinity that has come down in this configuration. We see it in its gross form as water, oceans, vapor. We see it in the human body as the flow of blood and all liquid things. Salutations to that divine grace that combines and manifests as the solid earth, as the force of magnetism, as all sense and all noses that catch it. Salutations to that one that appears in the dimensions that individuals can understand, as all sights and all sounds, that manifests as air and atmosphere, that manifests as the sun and the stars, that manifests as all things that are picked up by all our senses. Salutations, that one that appears as sapidity in water, that appears as the taste, that appears as the various forms and colors in the whole of nature, that appears as a man and a woman and a child. We can take a journey downwards, as it were, to the manifested world that we live in, to where we are seated, to the ground on which we are seated, to the body that connects with it, to the mind that thinks, to the flow of thought that goes through it in its subtle way. It does register every form of experience and energy to divine grace that always flows in us and through us, around us and beyond us, like a constant flow of light, everywhere present, never absent, containing the very essence of love, unconditional love. Its grace always flows to us. Let us feel it entering in to our presence from around us. Let us feel its vibration and its warmth at the top of the head. And then throughout every muscular movement and nerve fiber. Let us feel it descending down the body. Let us feel it ascending from the root up. Let us feel its shining presence. Let us feel its blessing nature. It is divine love. It is all that exists. And let us feel it in the center point of the heart. Let us feel that all energies merge into this essence within, lighting up our dark understanding with illumination. Let us feel this illumination spreading as life and survival, as light and intelligence, and as love and relationships. Let us merge everything into one energy. Let us visualize this energy as centered and beaming from that central point in the heart. Let us withdraw ourselves into this. Let us gradually merge with it. For our nature is the infinite invisible, until spontaneously a feeling arises. I am that. I am pure being. I am pure consciousness. I am of the nature of light and infinite possibilities. From this me comes strength, beauty, goodness, love, and harmony. Let us in silence merge into the profound silence of truth within us. Now, if you experience the oneness of pure being, all the problems of daily life dissolve. All senses of individualities go away. Only one thing there without a second. Let us, if we find the mind deviating from this oneness, allow the mind to wander outwards. Allow it to feel this subtle area of thought. Allow us to feel the energy that activates both mind and body, enabling the eyes to see and the ears to hear and the mouth to touch and taste, the skin to feel pressures, allowing all reactions until we formulate the world in front. Having done this, we can go the other way. We can dissolve all sights and sounds into their primordial energies. We can dissolve it into the mental field of activity. And we can dissolve that into that silent area of will that we can visualize as the cave of the heart. And within this space, we can visualize the appearance of a divine, pure lotus flower, shining brightly. And within this, the light of pure being. And once more, let's enter into this central light, the light of pure existence and consciousness and infinite bliss. This sense of undivided pure being, we make our salutations to, and all the manifested forms that are felt, all the manifested forms that are heard and seen, all manifested forms that are flowing, all manifested forms that are solid, all manifested forms of instruments that catch these waves. All is divine grace. All is flowing unity. All is one. All is divine. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Let this peace spread everywhere, throughout this area of space that we call the earth and beyond, to the world of celestials and beyond, to every world that may be parallel to ours, to every frequency and vibration. Let it resonate with the peace that passes all understanding.